So it has a bit of an angle, okay? So you could follow what I do, or you can just go straight in, up to you. So this angle here, it's basically where the fish is tilted. Okay. And then this top of the fin and this one should be as one line first. So you could do this first if you want to follow me. I'll just zoom this in so you could see better. So all is just ink at the moment and studying. Alright, so body, you could say roughly this thickness, okay? And it's quite flat, so you don't actually see the body go out too much. So yeah, this fin actually goes quite far out. So the tail, oh, not the tail, this is the fin, the side of the fin. So I'm looking at this point here. So that's creating, let's say, 3 points, okay? So that's the furthest away. So the body will be roughly here. So that's where it turns. And this is the fin that actually comes out. And then this one comes out this way.
Is that a dorsal fin?
I think so.
No,
Dorsal
no,
meaning
dorsal,
the front?
No, dorsal must be back, isn't it?
Pectoral fin.
Pectoral, yeah.
Oh, okay. It should be the petrol fin then. So this angle here, okay, that's, I think, what sells the fish being on an angle. Now this is the chin of the fish, so it actually comes around and then gives that nice turn of the tail. So, and this line here represents the center belly of the fish, okay? So this should be the bottom part of the fin, so which is this part here.
Of the tail.
Of the tail, sorry. So what I've done here is just to emphasize on the tail. And that is the center belly of the fish. Okay. So now that we know roughly where the mouth is, okay, we can just judge for the eye. Okay, so halfway through here. Okay. So at this point you can add in the more finer details. So you could put, say, the mouth is here, going around to where the gills are. So the gills are quite close to that line of the body where it turns. And then here you can just go all the way. So this is the plane, the front plane of the fish. here you can just do in the fins. Now when we do our actual, say, painting of this fish, I think the lower part of these fins actually covers the turning of the belly. So you could choose to, say, follow this or center of the belly sort of thing, and follow that sort of flow. So you look at how the top of the fin in line with the bottom one. And then it has the other two fins that is a really long tail-like fin like this. Yeah, so the rest you can just add in. So if I was to go around the head, so this is just the fish's pattern, okay? Usually dark on the top, and then it goes quite light as it goes towards the center of the body. So that's what I've seen so far, just looking at this image, okay? So now we can try to, say, do another one, but without, you could say, all that study. So that study is to help us understand what we're looking at. So I'll go step by step now, just to okay, so you could do this way first. So usually I start with the eye. So that's the eye. And then you try to figure out, okay, where the top of the head is and the bottom. So I'm mixing a bit of water and ink. So what I mean by water and ink is that with a bit of ink, okay, just a little bit, and scrape off the excess, add a bit of water. Because we'll try to make some variations of tones. So it's getting lighter and lighter, okay? So this brush here later is for filling up this area of the fish. Okay. So next I'm just going to be doing the mouth. So around the center of the eye, you come across. Okay, that's where the front lip of the mouth.
Is that bottom or top lip?
Both. So it's not open, this one, so I think it's Yeah. So this is, you can add 2 lines just so you could say, okay, this is bottom and this is top. So this line here just represents the chin, or beginning of the chin here. Probably had it too long, but that's alright. So once I've got all these details, I don't use my fine brush. So all these were done in a fine brush. I missed that detail. So next we change brush to a medium sized brush, and then we're going to be doing all these details with the medium brush. So mixing water and ink, okay? So water and ink like this. So see how light it is? So maybe the TV won't show you how light it is, but I'll show you how light. Okay, that's how light. Even lighter will be better. Now the tip of the brush that you just dip your ink in water goes into ink. So we have ink at the tip. In the middle of the belly of the brush is where ink and water mix together. So we want to create that one stroke going up all the way. So we want to go, so it's slightly behind the eye, so roughly here. So this stroke will have to go all the way this way. Something like so. So the body is where it ends. So I'm just estimating it's just quite close to the gill, quite close to the gill here. So as I'm doing my pattern around, just be aware how far I should go. Okay, so roughly here. So with this brush, I'm gonna do the fin. Okay, that's like so. And then one on this side, so make sure angling it down. So roughly here where I start. So with my current brush now, adding a little bit of water, so just the tip of my brush into water a bit. So I'm just gonna do the chin part here. Okay, so just a few lines, just a hint. You can follow the artist, just sort of go around the gill, up to you. Alright, so going around. So next I'll follow the belly, okay, and just do these fins, these long ones here. So I'm just being aware of this upper fin as well. So coming around to pretty much to the corner of my page. So like if I had more room, I'll exaggerate a bit more. So dipping my brush into ink, okay, only a little bit. So make sure it's follow the center. of the belly and just go out this way. And then the two on each side. So this one's a fine one. Same on this side. So with the remaining ink, I'm just gonna do some touch-ups, okay? Yeah. So just gently do some effects. Just make your brush as horizontal to the page as possible, and just gently scrape, like so. So dipping my brush into water. Okay, I'm just trying to figure out this tail now. So following the center belly, and then now doing a curve. So I'm going to start here. So just adding water, and then adding a bit more water. So I'm just going to try to create the side of the body where it turns. So just give it a very gentle light line. So you can add more to this to make it a bit more dynamic. Okay, so this one's a bit stiff, you could say. So you could add some water to the brush and just decorate a bit. And that's the turning of the fish, and also seeing a bit of the belly. So yeah, usually with this process, you just have to wait until this is dry, and then we could add color like what you see on the sample. Alright, let's do like a front on one.
It always looks sad.
Yes. If you're looking at quite frontal, yeah. So this one should be quite easy. Okay, you don't need too much space. So two eyes pretty much quite close to each other. And when you do your mouth, well actually probably before that I'll just roughly shape out. So it should be 50-50, but because I think we're seeing more of the belly, so yeah, you can choose
What
to...
do you mean 50-50?
So you can see top, the top of the body and bottom of the body should be 50-50. So, but on the actual reference picture, it looks like it's 2/3. So here, 2/3, you see more of the belly.
Because I think the fish is angled looking up.
Yeah.
That's why you can see the tail.
The tail, I assume that you're not supposed to see in this image. So this is the bottom fin,
On the bottom
that
fin, yes.
long one.
But then where's the top fin?
It's
Not
that
saying-
little bit, yeah.
Yes, we're not seeing much of that.
So that gives us the hints where you're looking more up of the fish. Does that make sense? So if you have the same length of the top and bottom fin, then you'll know that you're looking at straight on. This one's more looking at the belly of the fish. So we could play around with different angles later. So we'll just follow this one. So this one's around, the belly is 2/3 and then 1/3 of the head is on top. So the fin doesn't really go far. Okay, it's pretty much just that. And then the bottom fin, you can have it longer. So again, you could have the mouth very close to the eyes, like center if you want. But this one, it seems like it's just here, okay, roughly. So around the bottom of the eyes, and then going around and connecting to the side. And this line here shows the lip, or gives the feeling of the lip. And this is the upper lip. Okay, so the upper lip, I'm just having two lines to show that it's just forming a roundness in the front. So two eyeballs on the side. So the fin, the pectoral fin, is that how you say it, Jeffrey?
I would.
Will be pretty much where,
But your pectoral muscles are your breasts.
yeah.
So it makes sense that that would be pectoral fins.
I think so.
So if you were to see more of the belly, these fin will be a bit more towards the mouth, or even lower before, underneath the mouth. So I did it slightly higher in the middle. So if you're looking more of the top of the fish, then you'll have this fin more towards the eye. And then next is where the other two fin comes out. Okay, so this one's not that hard. Okay, and frontal plane of the fish, and then you can do your pattern on the top, like so.
So that was a bit of water.
Ink and water, and then yeah, you can just color it in like so. Okay, I can give a few texture underneath that. So we did it, this fish, like for me, maybe a little bit too wide, so it can go skinnier than this. So you could exaggerate this a bit more. So meaning that you can have two eyes, and then you can pretty much just lines going through like this. this is like as if it's from a distance. And you could also like, you know, make the body turn and things like that. So that's in the future when we do our own painting, you can have our tail even off to the side a bit, so you can see a bit of the tail. So this one, the tail is covered, from what I see, behind the whole body. So I'm just gonna redo this one, but without all the outlines this time. Okay. So to start off, you can just go, just have enough space. 2 eyeballs, okay, so they're quite elongated. And then mouth. So after you've done the mouth and the eyes, I change brush.
To inky brush or grey brush?
Grey brush, or medium sized brush. So mixing my brush into ink and water. So like this, mixing it and scrape off. And again, the tip of the brush into the ink. So I want to create a nice sort of variation of tone. So I'm gonna go quite dark first. So just the tip touching, like this. And as you're using up the ink, you sort of now press a little bit harder to allow the ink and water to come out. So the tone will be dark at the bottom, and as you're pressing your brush on an angle like so, keeping it straight, this will start to have ink and water, so it will have a different tone. So you need to know roughly where the head's gonna finish, so I'm gonna finish roughly here. And then adding a little bit of water, and then just flick this up like so. So this is where my head ends, or where the body ends on the top. So this area here is quite wet, okay, so it'll bleed a little bit. So next, again, adding a little bit of water, so just the tip, just dipping into water a bit. And I'm just trying to go with that bleeding, and then just round that off and connect a little bit to the eyes. And going down a bit. So as my brush was touching this area, it's quite dark. So you have to think about, okay, now that it's, you know, maybe this sort of tone, you could use it for your fin. Okay, so here you can go flick up like that. So I went out to in, okay, and this one you can go in to out. So up to you, as long as you can create that fin-like shape. So this one here, I'm gonna go out and in like that. So with with the artist sort of having the fin pointing down, it sort of gives that illusion of going upward too. And so if you were to do it that way, you can flick this way, and this one you have to go down a bit more. So dipping my brush into water, just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit, dip into water. So from the chin, and just try to create a few lines to show the folding underneath there. So I'm just gonna do the belly, okay? So the belly, we want to make sure, so if it's like that, you can go pretty much down here, like this. So all this is just this tone, and I'm just adding a bit of water each time. And here, so this is the bottom fin, so top fin, bottom fin. Now dipping my brush into ink and water a bit. We're looking at where the two fins will start. So I'll be doing it roughly here. So these are the two sort of whisker fin. And that's pretty much, yeah, how you do
Both
this
of
part.
these fish are much harder than what last week.
Oh really? Okay.
Do you think, Isabel?
So that's pretty much it, okay, for that one. Okay, this one will be the last sort of fish we'll do today, and then we'll move on to water plants after this. Okay, this one here, who needs new paper? It's all good, okay.
Is this okay to
Yep.
do that?
So we could do a bit of study on this side. So this one, okay, pretty much I just look at a triangle. So, but at this end, it's probably not as pointy. Okay, so the body sort of comes around like this, front plane of the head, bottom plane. Okay, and then body. So this is where it curves around. So with this one, the tail then comes around on this side. So one at the top of the head, one at the bottom. So this top of the tail and bottom part of the tail. So eyes, yeah, you can see on the other side too. I think with this fish, if you do the actual side on of the angelfish and you do this one, it sort of blends in a bit more. If you have all your fishes like that, people don't know what you're doing. So the next part of this is just, again, doing the mouth. Okay, so mouth is below the eyes a bit, or we could have it in line, up to you how far you want to do it. And then coming around, and do the gills. You can do the bottom lip. So at this point, once I've done the eyes, mouth, gill, and then I change to my medium brush, and then you just add in the details.
Medium is your grey brush?
Yes. Well, pretty much all my fine brush is for dark ink to do fine lines. And again, dip your brush into water and ink, and the tip of the brush go into the ink a bit. So you'll have, I'll go dark and then go light as I go to the top. So dark and lighter as you go up. And then just go around the eyes. And just being aware of where the body finishes. So with my current brush, going at the bottom, creating this fin and creating that fin a bit more. And then I'm just gonna go just gently brushing down like this. And this one, same. Just fill up this area here. Yeah, so at this point you can just do the rest. So adding my brush into ink and water a bit. So top, bottom. And just angling your brush on the side and just gently flicking. Okay. So I'll just add a bit of water and you can do a bit more work on the shadow. Okay, so bottom bit and on the body. So we'll leave this area white. I like the belly to be white so there's not too much dark happening. So with this one, it doesn't seem like it has a pectoral fin coming out, so maybe we could add it in. I'm just gonna go with my fine brush this time and just add in that blackness, so that makes it separate to the rest of the grey and the dark. You can choose to do it on the other side, it's up to you. but I probably won't do it. I'll just do it just on that one side. Okay, so that's that one. And then we'll do one. Alright, so I'll just do another one down the bottom. So Chinese painting, they tend to do the eyes and all the fine details first. They say it's to capture the spirit and hold it into place. And after that,
你好吗？
唔使啦，你一陣先。So doing the eyes first, so circle, and then I tend to do the pupil with a bit of a highlight there. Okay, so you can do the mouth, and then going round to the gill. So we can do the top bit first before we do the other eye, so we don't know where the other eye is going to be starting. So once I've done all this, I'm changing my brush now to the medium size with the ink and water brush. So keep in mind that you're doing a triangle, so this is the one corner of the triangle, and the other two corner is pretty much where my fingers are. So you won't see too much of the bottom one this time. So my brush into ink and water, just mix it a bit and scrape off any excess like so, and then the tip of the brush goes into the ink. So have the brush pointing up first, pointing down, don't angle it yet, so we go front on, and then as we go further up to the top, we'll angle it this way. So we need to know roughly where to finish. So I'm going to finish roughly here. Okay, so this should reach a little bit to the tip of that fin. So while this is still wet, I'm just going to add a little bit of water, and I'm just going to go around the eyes. You could add a bit of lines on the to give a hint that there's a lip there. Okay, and think about where your body should be finishing. So this is pretty much where my body should finish if my fin's here. Obviously you can drag your fin out a bit more so you can have a bit more body space. Okay, so that's where my body is going to do that turn. So with my brush with this tone, I'm going to come down underneath the chin. You can add a few lines to show the lower part of the lip. So here we want to think about going all the way down. So this will be past my paper, doing the other fin. So the body goes all the way around like this and up. So it doesn't matter if you draw this because we're going to cover it when we're doing the fins, okay? So this one, if you have the room, you can go brushing all the way down. So make sure it doesn't go past this area, and same at the top. So and because we have plenty of white space, you can choose to, while you have this texture, to do the fin, or you can go into the ink with your fine brush and do it this way. So it's just a bit more, stands out a bit more. Okay, so following the flow, if I'm just gonna go out, so this is where first line, the top of the line of the tail, and then bottom one, so dipping our brush into ink and water a bit. And just giving it a gentle sort of keep your brush flat and just horizontally brush across like so. So you can angle your brush this way where the tip points towards you as you head towards the bottom line of the tail. Make that a bit more, slightly darker. So at this point your fish is pretty much done. You can do the two really fine whiskered fin down the bottom. So this one you could also do it with a fine brush. So if this fin area is wet, don't do it, okay? So if it's out, like this side, you can do it. Okay, so at this point you can do patterns, you know, just like where you see dots on the fish.